Good morning, everybody. Chef Kevin Belton here, and happy Tuesday to you. Now, tomorrow is National Herbs and Spices Day. So I wanted to do a dish that used herbs and spices that maybe we don't use in Louisiana cooking. So today I'm going to do a tagine. Now, everywhere has a beef stew. You know, they call it a beef bourguignon in France. In Ireland, there's Irish stew. In Hungary, there's goulash. U.S., sometimes they consider chili. Well, a tagine is a beef stew. And if you've ever seen these pots, they're round and they have that lid that comes up like a tube. All right, that's a tagine pan. And this dish is cooked in that pan. But I'm going to do it in a heavy cast iron pan, which is just as good because the idea is to get that moisture dripping back into the meat. Now, what I've done so far, I've taken beef stew meat, seasoned it with salt and pepper, all right? Browned it off really good. I've taken it out. Now, in the pan, I'm going to go in with some carrots. I'm sorry, that's onion. I was ahead of myself. Here are the carrots. And you can see we have some goodies stuck down in the bottom of the pan there from browning off that meat. You know, you want to brown off that meat because it seals everything in. Now, this is about 8 cloves of minced garlic. We're going to get this garlic in. And because it's Herbs and Spices Day, I told you I wanted to do something different. So here, in this particular dish, now, tagine is typically found in North Africa. We're using a couple of cinnamon sticks. I have turmeric, I have ground ginger, and I have ground cumin. All right? And you know, these are flavors that you don't think about in Louisiana cooking. Now, I can saute this off for a while, but we're not going to saute it too long because see those goodies sticking to the bottom of the pan? I'm going to go in with a little red wine to help deglaze this. Now, you guys know I'm not a drinker, okay? This recipe calls for about 2 cups of red wine. I just decided to do 1 cup of wine. I figured that'd be enough. And I like to let this cook some. Now, I have the fire on high because I want this wine to cook. I want that wine flavor, that alcohol taste to kind of cook out of it. But look how pretty this is getting. And you notice that liquid also deglazes the bottom of this pan. So now, let's go ahead, get our beef back in. And you know, of course, had those the gravy that came out of that. We got that in as well. We're gonna get in some tomatoes. Now, some folks like to blanch their tomatoes, peel them. I like them with the skin on. So I just went ahead, cut the tomatoes up, diced them up. Also into this, I have a little cilantro and parsley. Let's get this in. And we're gonna add in our chicken stock. Have 4 cups of chicken stock. Now, I'm gonna get this up to a boil. Once this boils, I'm gonna put the lid on it. I'll turn it to medium heat, and I'm gonna let this simmer for roughly about 1.5 hours because we want this beef to get nice and tender. But think about these flavors that are in here, all right? These flavors are gonna come together, but yet, hey gang, there's a lot more to go to finish this off. So I'm gonna get this lid on, so next time you see me, we'll be in our next step of our tagine. So we will see you in a little bit. Hi guys, welcome back to the kitchen. I wish you could smell this. This smells so good. Now let me tell you what I've done with our tagine. Remember, we started off with beef stew meat, seasoned that with salt and pepper, okay? Brown that off in the pan, took that out, put in onions, carrots, garlic. Then we seasoned it with turmeric, ground ginger, ground cumin, and cinnamon sticks. And I put in a cup of red wine, let that reduce and deglaze the bottom of that pan. Then we put in 4 cups of chicken stock. Now we got it up to a boil. and then we turned it down and had it simmering covered. Remember, tagine is that pot that is round on the bottom and the lid kind of comes up to the top. Well, I'm using a heavy Dutch oven because that moisture drops back into it. So the flavor steams up and it drops back into it. So now at this point, while it's simmering, we're gonna add in, we have a half a cup of honey, and about a quarter cup of honey. I put a little more, that's why I said half a cup. And I have apricots that I've quartered. So we're gonna get our honey and our apricots in. Yeah. Now, this is going to simmer, once I get this stirred in really good, for another 30 minutes, okay? The smells are incredible. All right, so now I'm gonna let this simmer, and I had some chicken stock boiling, okay? Now, you know, in our area, we eat a lot of grits. We typically eat grits in the morning, but you know, hey, I've eaten grits in the evenings, and you know, we serve shrimp and grits and all. Well, this tagine is gonna be served over couscous. Now, couscous is a form of semolina from durum wheat. So it's durum wheat semolina. Basically, I just put it in a bowl. I got our chicken stock up to a boil. We're gonna pour our chicken stock right over the couscous. And make sure you use a bowl that it can stand the heat. And now I'm just gonna cover this with a plate. So our last 30 minutes while our tagine finishes cooking, our couscous is gonna sit here. That chicken stock is hot, so it's gonna absorb all of that chicken stock. We'll fold in some almond slices that I toasted off with a little bit of parsley and cilantro. And in here, we'll finish this off with some chickpeas. So this is gonna simmer. Our couscous is getting ready. And the next time you see me, we're gonna be putting this together. Oh, National Herbs and Spices Day tomorrow. I hope you try this because I tell you what, it'll make your kitchen smell so good. So we'll see you in a bit. Hi guys, welcome back. You know, tomorrow being National Herbs and Spices Day, I really wanted to do something different. You know, we're used to seasoning our food here in New Orleans and South Louisiana along the Gulf Coast, but I wanted to challenge myself to do something totally different, and I think it's worked out. That's why I wanted to do a tagine. Now, what I have done, let's recap. We can go ahead and shut this off. I started by taking beef stew meat, browning it off, took it out of the pan, went in with a little more olive oil, and I sauteed onions and carrots, and I also put in garlic. Now, the seasoning that's different in here that we're not used to using, I use cumin, I used ground ginger, I used turmeric, and I also have cinnamon. Now, these are chickpeas, just canned chickpeas that I rinsed. And look, I want to take, at this point, take out the cinnamon sticks. And I tell you what, if you choose to make this dish, the smell is incredible. You know, it's that smell when you go into certain restaurants, you wonder, where is that smell coming from? It's from that turmeric, it's from that cumin. I tell you what, that ginger is just so great. And I had 2 cinnamon sticks in here. I'm looking for that other one, but it's hiding on me. All right. We also, after I let it cook for an hour and a half, okay, we opened it up and I put in I quartered apricots, some dried apricots, and put those in with a little honey. We just put in our chickpeas, and we made couscous, which is made from, it's this durum wheat semolina. So our couscous, I boiled chicken stock, poured it on 2 cups of couscous. You can see it sat there covered, and it just totally absorbed all of that chicken stock. Into it, I mixed in a little bit of cilantro and some toasted almond slices that I toasted off. Now, to serve this, you know, if you're wondering what is couscous like, you know, just like when we have grits and, you know, a lot of times we'll serve grits with things and we serve rice. Well, this is a North African dish, So it's a wheat. I mean, look at that, how it almost looks like it's big grits, all right? But remember, it's a form of wheat. It's a semolina. So let's get our spoon. Let's get some of our tagine right over the top of this. This meat, this cooks so long that it gets nice and tender. Let's get a little bit of that gravy. We can finish this off. I thought I had a little extra parsley or a little cilantro. Well, we can put a little parsley or cilantro on top of that. But look at that. So now you can make this for the kids and say, hey gang, I made a traditional North African dish. A lot of places they call it beef stew. North Africa, it's called a tagine. So I really hope you try this, because I tell you what, it smells so good and I can't wait to dig in. So for WWL TV, I'm Chef Kevin Belton. Have yourself a fantastic day. Stay well.